Test. Wow. Konbanwa minasan, kyo wa suyobi senjo desu. And this is Paolo, producer of Garrison Archangel. Hi everyone. Sorry about last week, technical issues. I hope this stream is reaching everyone well. We were encountering some internet problems earlier, but I hope you guys are hearing this fine. Let me check. Paolo, the producer. Okay. All right, at least people got that. Welcome to Garrison Archangel's Wednesday Warzone, where I talk about updates and other things, news regarding the game. And man, the past week actually we revealed a lot of new stuff, especially for those in the preview build. For this Garrison Archangel Wednesday Warzone, I guess we'll talk about certain weapons that are not yet on the public build. And those two weapons are the Obolochka shoulder shields and the Sprunghaft jump thrusters. So I'll equip the shoulder shields for now, so to show everyone. Oh, and if you're wondering, I'm using equipment that's not yet technically that isn't in the game unless you enter a code. It's a cheat code, but we know lots of you guys are like are into the fashion of the game, so we decided, okay, we'll give you guys access to the equipment for now, but you have to figure out the code. We put out the clues in previous announcements, but if you can ask around our Discord, some people already know the code and use it. So back to what we're gonna talk about. This is the Obolochka shoulder shield. You can have one on the right and one on the left, although I think, yeah, that's correct if you're looking at it from the back of the Archangel. Basically, it allows you to use a shield on your shoulder without you have the effects of a shield that you would normally have in your hand on your shoulder. So as you can see, I'm moving around with that shield. As you can see on my UI screen, on my UI heads-up display, you can see that 100% because it acts like a shield. See, I'm moving around. It's blocking bullets. So it frees up both my hands. So now I can do dual weapons while still having a shield. So most normally, people equip shields on the hand to mitigate damage because shields provide perfect guard. They allow you to move and recover, stability and boost while you're hidden behind it. Although they can only take so much damage before they go into guard break, which is like being parried or stunned. So we give you that option by giving you the Obolochka, which is it's 1,000 weight. You can put it on your shoulder. It has 75% deflection. That means it deflects 75% incoming armor attacks. And yeah, that sucked. Don't know why I did that. And yeah, it'll take 1,000 damage, stability damage before it breaks. So just like any shield, just put it up when you need to mitigate damage and put it down when you don't need to, so that you're not vulnerable and it gets some of its durability back. So yeah, that's the Obolochka shield. Let's see if I can win this. Oops. Oops. Oh darn, he dodged that. Okay. So that's the Obolochka shield. It's pretty straightforward. I'll go back and equip the other one. So the other equipment we have is called the Sprunghaft jump jets. Yeah, they're jump thrusters here. Oops, I'm in the rear armament. For now, in the preview build, this is in the preview build, we made the Sprunghaft give you additional bonus to flight and just jumping upwards. So if you notice, flying upwards is much higher than it would have normally been. So I'm like halfway. Jumping up already sends me halfway up to the roof of a standard sized arena. And it gives you a free jump up maneuver, similar to the X thruster, but right now it's not conditional. It'll always jump you up relative to where you're facing. So if you want to jump straight up, I suggest you go into this mode, which is the free look mode. So, oh, okay, that was a little weird. Maybe because I was facing upwards while moving sideways. Anyway, what's he doing? You're out of ammo. Die. Okay, so those are the two weapons. Although some feedback from the preview builds, people feel like the Sprunghaft isn't doing enough, and then I decided maybe we'll make it a general omnidirectional thruster, much like the X thruster. So we'll make it so that by the end of this week, we'll have the Sprunghaft and the Obolochka available on the main build, the non-preview build, and the Sprunghaft will have an omnidirectional passive by then. But it'll have the condition of you must be in midair, so you'll only get the boost bonus if you're in midair. Right now, I have a large boost bonus from X thrusters, so some people think it's required equipment in the game because boosting is so good now. See, I can do weird stuff like that. So we're gonna make it so that the Sprunghaft also gives you that bonus in midair. If you're in midair means you have to be flying. You shouldn't be on the ground walking. You should be in the air like that. So it's gonna give you that passive bonus. That's our plan, and it's you might see an update this coming Friday or so, end of the month of August. So August 31. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, or wait, there. No. Yeah, August 31. Okay, so those are the two new weapons we're adding. People were asking about the pistol. We actually have the pistol. Like I said, we have a pistol model lying around. I think I can reveal its name. It's gonna be called the Peacemaker, and it's gonna be our first 500 weight projectile weapon, and it'll come out next month. Like every weapon reveal we do, it'll come out at the end of next month, so September. Next September, you can expect the pistol to come out. We're just finishing some things. some development schedules were moved around. So I'm sorry if I promised that and it didn't come for. There were just a lot of things on the plate. So we also wanted to fill up the shoulder equipment because before we added these new equipment from last month and this month, the shoulder section was actually the only section that didn't have. Oh, Anubis, congratulations to the winner. I still have the old file. Okay, I actually have the old. Wait, sorry. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, back to the shoulder. Before these new updates, the shoulder weapons didn't actually fill up their. Didn't fill up this little menu list on the side. So we wanted to fill that up before we go back to the other sections. So as you can see now, with especially if you unlocked all the frames, all the sections are kind of filled up. So now we'll go back to not just the shoulder sections, and you can expect to see more weapons in the future. Okay, that's enough for that news. That bit of news. As you all know, we actually put in some codes in the game. Two of those codes unlock. The first code unlocks all the frames in the game. The other code unlocks all the weapons, and the weapons aren't named yet because they're actually models we created back then that were supposed to be alternates for existing, like reskins for existing weapons. And well, there wasn't much development with them since we decided to move towards making single player rather than our old plan of making this a full multiplayer online game experience. So the alternate weapons for now, what we've decided is they'll be, like I said in previous Wednesday Warzones, they'll be upgrades, secret weapons you pick up from doing quests and favors with the different factions in the single player setting. So that being said, with the single player campaign coming out, we actually have some debug functions we put in the game, and we decided why not? We'll give players the same access we do. We actually put a bunch of codes in Discord and in our previous announcements how to get these codes. But I personally feel like these are codes that we should share, unlike the frames and the weapons. They should be shared because it can be helpful for players to understand the game, especially this code called training mode. I'll type it in. I'm not sure if that actually kicked in. I didn't hear it. Okay, training mode. You just have to type in training mode, and what it does is it makes the hitboxes of your mechs and your weapons visible. Oh, look. Okay. So as you can see, that blue is actually your hitbox. So you actually in this mode you can actually like practice how attacks work, especially since our hitboxes aren't like strictly like fighting games that actually move or change depending on the move you do. They just kind of turn off and on, so they're like capsules. And yeah, this is the code. I'm giving it away. It's also useful for people who wanna practice for, you know, Cosmic Clash or competitive kind of scenarios. So as you notice, our hitboxes have some weird behaviors, like they don't rotate, and that's actually a limitation of the system. For now, we don't have a way to kind of change up how the hitboxes work because of the what do you call this? Because of the framework we use, the engine we use. So our hitboxes are kind of weird, but generally, if you hit the center of mass, you're supposed to hit the target. This could also explain why certain attacks don't hit. Also because your model can have a different angle, completely different from what your hitbox is like. But at least with the training mode, you'll be able to see this and understand. Like, you'll always have an idea of how the enemy's hitbox will look like at this time. just expect it to look like this. So see, as you can see, I'm like leaning back, leaning forward, angling above the enemy, but my hitbox is still standing up. So I hope this debug tool is useful for our players, I guess. This will be very important, I think, for people who play it competitively, maybe our players at CC. So it's worth checking out. Okay. So I broke the silence. The game's made with Unity. If you play some of our older versions, you can see the Unity logo. We did have to change the physics engine a while back, but there's some things from Unity we can't change, or we haven't begun to change. I actually recently only learned about this hitbox thing, because before we didn't have this feature of checking how of making the hitboxes visible. So I didn't know that little snippet where the hitboxes don't actually revolve. So it's just one of the things we're discovering, thanks to everyone's feedback, and I hope you guys are able to use the training mode code. You just have to type it in the main menu screen, and then if you want to turn it off, similar to one of our older codes for the chibi mode of the game, you just have to reset the game. Like I said, all of these codes are for debugging. We weren't supposed to like make them public, but we decided, why not? You guys are testing the game and you guys are super excited for everything we put out, so we might as well like give you some keys give you some keys to the kingdom, or not all of it, just some of it. And that being said, I think it's time to move on to our other promotions. I'm sure you're all aware, last week I revealed a new contest called the Archangel Arms Concept Competition. And basically, if you guys are just hearing this now, the Archangel Arms Concept Competition is basically a weapon idea competition. If you follow the links I'm gonna put later when this becomes a video and this becomes archived, then you can watch it as a video. And if you follow our social media on Twitter and Facebook, we actually have the link there. Basically, what you have to do is make something called a weapon pitch, where you explain why this weapon would be good, why it would be cool if you had this, if this weapon would be added to the game. It's basically like a sales pitch. That's why it's called a weapon pitch. It can be an image, it can be a document, it can be a PDF, it can be a slideshow, like a PowerPoint presentation kind of deal, or you can use some of the free Office, Google Docs Office slides. You can use some of those if you don't want paid products from Microsoft. You can use some of those. It can even be a video, although in that case, just a link to whatever your YouTube channel should be fine. The important thing is you just send it to us through our form, our Google form, and the winner of and it'll have a similar concept to our fashion fight competition, where you submit a mech and then the judges internally will filter out like the top 10 favorite mechs, the ones we want to have a good chance of being added to the game, and we leave it to the community to vote. It's gonna have that similar kind of, what do you call that?
Format.
Yeah, format. That's right. It's gonna have that similar format. Basically, you submit, we check things out, we pick the top 10, then we leave it to the community to judge. Unlike the previous fashion fight, where we actually did the rendering and tried to present all the mechs we made our own content of the mechs submitted, because they were actual mech profiles you can submit in the garage. For this contest, we will basically give the community whatever you sent us. That's why the weapon pitch file has to be really good looking. And it's really up to you guys how you do it. If you can convey your idea through words, if you have some nice graphics, that put it all in that weapon pitch file. And I think that's it. It's kind of straightforward. Just make sure you have a good presentation, basically. Like if someone sees it, they're like, "Oh yeah, I want this weapon because it does this, that, this, that. Looks cool." Just have that kind of submission. And there are two, unlike the previous fashion fight where we had like one category and then we just rank people according to that category. For this Archangel Arms concept competition, we have two categories. One of which is a reskin category. So this is more for the artist people. Basically, you just say that this operates like the Dominus, has the same stats, but I made a cooler looking Dominus, for example.
It's basically the first prize for the fashion fight.
Yeah, but you guys get to submit. Yeah, basically the first prize for the fashion fight where we discuss. Um, no, but it's not because that one we have a back and forth. In this one, basically, if you send us an idea that's nice enough, we're like, okay, we'll show it to the community. Do
It's
you
the
like
same.
this idea?
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, it still depends on how you present your reskin. It's the second category that most people already know about, which is it's a brand new weapon. It has its own new gimmick, new move set, whatever. But I think the nice thing about the reskin is you don't have to worry about the technical aspects of how it'll play, because we might also filter out certain um, weapons by feasibility. Like we don't think the system can accommodate them at this time.
It's a sword. What does it do? Sword things.
Yeah, sorry. So you have to for the brand new weapon, you have to be also it'll also be appreciated if you can explain. Yeah, it'll be cool because in the context of Garrison Archangel, if you do a forward attack, it does this, that. If it's more complete, I think that'll also contribute. So that's that for the Archangel Arms concept competition. I put the details. I'll put the details up when this video updates, and it gets added to the archive in YouTube, like I said. But you can also see it on our Twitter and Facebook announcements. I think if you're also on our Discord, we also store our announcements. So there's gonna be a link to the Google form there, and that's that. Okay, another shill, I guess. Another shill announcement. We actually decided to join something called the Indie Gala Hump Day Sale. Basically, we're in there with 10. We're in there. We're like part of 10 indie games that basically are selling ourselves as one bundle for like 95% off, but it's pay what you want. There's just a minimum price of like $3.49. So check it out. I actually put the link here in the description. If you show more, you should see the link to the Indie Gala Hump Day sale. If you don't have a Garrison Archangel yet, or if you don't have any of the other games on the list, because I think there's Game Dev Tycoon in there.
Oh, you're promoting other games.
Hey, we're part of a bundle, okay? So there are like 9 other indie games. Garrison Archangel's part of it. You can get them really cheap. It's actually really cheap. I only now realized 95% off. Wow. Okay. But you can pay what you want. If you want to pay $10, $20, up to you. But if you just want to get Garrison Archangel and these other games, go ahead and check it out. I think it runs for 3 weeks. Indie Gala says they have that it's a tri-weekly sort of deal. So check it out, please. You can get Garrison Archangel and 9 other indie games. What a deal! Tell your friends and family too. Okay, that's it. I think that's it for this. There's actually another code, but this one's a little more super debug. Okay, I think that got in. Basically, we're testing the procedural mission thing by using horde mode. We tried just adding like mission objectives to the existing gameplay, just to test how a procedural missions would look. Okay. Oh no, I don't think it got in. Anyway, anyways, it's part of the codes we gave out on Discord, and it's actually in one of our previous announcements. Let me try it again. Okay, hold on. Just want to test.
Ready, go.
Perhaps my caps lock is on. Oh, there you go. So there, you'll have little objectives like avoid taking damage in 60 seconds. That's actually for 60 seconds, and you'll succeed if the 60 seconds pass. Although right now there's no real mission failure. It just kind of tracks your progress, and then if you fail or you succeed, it'll change the mission. So it's really just for this is one of the things I'd say is really supposed to just be internal, because we're testing like adding mission objectives to existing game modes, mostly because a lot of single player will be just toying with variables. Like if you fight a certain faction, they'll tend to send this and that units, this and that type of units, but you can have different missions with them. Like you were ambushed, now you have to survive the ambush. So right now there's only, okay, I succeeded, I didn't take more than 1,500 damage. Or you have to kill X enemies, or you have to survive, which is avoid taking damage, I guess. It's kind of weird. But there's that. There's a lot of stuff we're still testing out at this point. Right now I'm not able to show the map, and I'm still pretty bummed out about it. But we've been leaking a lot of the map and a lot of the new stuff that's coming out for single player. There were some people who wanted to see the non-Archangel enemies, which are actually going to be more common than the Archangels you see in Horde mode. Like I said, in lore, Archangels are actually like top tier machines. Like if they're sent out, they're elite units. Mostly, if it's a small conflict, they'll send angels, or angels being the power suits, or tanks and spaceships and what do you call this? Aircraft, basically. Aircraft, ships, and other combat vehicles. Archangels are like the best. Like that's why they're able to send one Archangel to like blow up a compound, because they're just that good sometimes. And yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff we can't show yet. So I'm just a little sad, but I just want to tell you and reassure you guys, there's a lot of stuff coming up. I think the guys at Discord know we've been showing off stuff like crazy there. Sometimes I tell my devs, hey, why are you showing that off? We're not supposed to show that off yet. So just be reassured that the single player is going. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff changing. If you notice in that Horde mode earlier, the enemies weren't getting stuck in walls as often as before, because we actually changed up like the navigational AI of the opponents, and it's especially important, especially in the Horde mode map called the Proving Grounds, because the Proving Grounds actually procedurally places buildings. So it's basically randomized terrain. I think I bumped the microphone. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of small stuff we're also trying to fix. It's not all just big new parts, new game modes. We're also trying to fix the AI and the game mode systems, and even the graphics update was pretty heavy. But like I said, the development of the game is continuing, so don't worry much about it. And please do buy, if you don't have our Garrison Archangel yet, please do consider the Indie Gala bundle. You're getting a lot of games 95% off. That's really, what a deal. Like 10 indie games. So just give it a look if you haven't bought Garrison Archangel yet. And if you're interested in like putting stuff in the game, consider joining the Archangel Arms concept competition, because you don't even need to own the game to like submit the thing, to like submit a entry. Shoot, I was about to say submit a submission. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, yeah, so that's that. Question and answer portions. Yay! Wow.
How does this game fare well on 4K TV?
How does this game fare well on 4K TV?
Well, we don't have a 4K graphic option, so
We don't have a 4K TV.
it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. Actually, yeah, we don't have one yet. We don't have one yet. Sorry.
It's fine. The textures are shit anyway.
No, they're not. Stop saying that.
Textures are horrible. It's fine. It's fine.
No. Hey, you're not supposed to say that on air. Anyway, yeah. For now, we don't have 4K yet. We don't actually have good equipment to like test it out. Test out the 4K, the viability anyway, but it should work on the dimensions we have in game. So just check it out. How have you guys at Indigo been doing? Everyone doing well? Yes, we are. We're doing really well.
Sure.
Hey, what's with that? Always sarcastic. Anyway, yeah, as you all know, there were rains in the past months. Lots of stuff happened, but we're holding up.
I guess we're doing well.
Yeah, we're doing well. There's a lot of new stuff.
I guess.
We're. I guess the best thing to say is we're still operational, aren't we? Anyway, don't worry. Don't worry, guys. We still really plan to finish this game. We don't want it to be stuck in early access hell. We want to put all the stuff we promised thus far, and so far we have been forward with our promises. So, like I said, if ever plans change, I do bring it up with you guys. But for now, we're operational. Don't worry about.
Don't worry about us too much.
Don't worry about us too much. Basically, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't
It's
worry.
fine.
Yeah, we're good.
It's fine.
Thank you very much. But yeah, the game's good. Yeah, stay safe. Thank you.
PS4 controller support.
PS4 controller support. We're currently you're able to use the PS4 controller, but only with the help of external apps.
Third-party-
Yeah, third-party apps. Right now we don't have direct PS4 controller support. Okay, that might change in the future, especially since we want to have button. You can assign. Basically, we'll shift from the button types we use right now. Button configuration types we use now, and just have button mapping in the future. So what else is there? It's an okay engine.
Tournaments here in the Philippines.
Tournaments here in the Philippines.
Yeah. Someone's excited to join them.
Let me read. Who's this? Who's this?
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. We actually have a monthly tournament called Cosmic Clash.
Well, not for this month.
Not for this month, because
But monthly though.
hey, it used to be monthly. Okay. I was just concerned because the new physics engine was too different from the old one. I just wanted to give people a chance to play it, get used to it before we go. And there was a lot of stuff inherent to the physics engine that we needed to change up before it became okay. And even now, people are still giving us feedback regarding the angles, especially the angles actually, because right now in the game, your mech does not correct itself immediately. You can actually attack someone while still sideways. You can even attack someone upside down, and that's because we wanted to have smoother flight. This was actually supposed to address a camera issue where you fly above the opponent and your mech corrects so fast that the camera kind of spins. Right now the mech doesn't corrects kind of slowly, and that leads to strange angles, especially if you're fighting in mid-flight. But as you can see, the hitboxes, the collision cylinders actually don't rotate. So it could be your mech's model is out of the collision cylinder. and you won't get hit. It's something we're still exploring, but at least I think with training mode, you guys can get used to the system. Okay. Can we have a small tease list of non-Archangel enemies? Fighter jets and power suits have already been confirmed. Are we going to face tanks and helis as well? Yes. I know this guy. I feel bad because you weren't in the Discord early on. I think Red Rory revealed that we do have a bunch of tanks and helicopters.
It's still in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's still in there.
You can dig it up if you want.
That's a lot of stuff to dig through.
Yeah.
But yes, he actually revealed helis and tanks, like their actual 3D meshes. I think I'll reveal it in a future Wednesday Warzone. There's still a lot on our plate development wise.
A pistol that's supposed to be released for this month. Next month?
Yeah, next month. I said it at the start of the video. If you're
Oh.
just coming in now, I don't remember promising a pistol, but I remember talking about it. I said, yeah, we have a model lying around. Let's put it in the game. Although I didn't say a date, and it must have I must have lost track of it because there's also a lot of stuff we did, and then there's a lot of stuff that happened in the past month. So I'm sorry about that. But the pistol will come in next month. Apparently, it was simpler than we thought. The pistol will be a 500 weight ranged weapon, the only ranged weapon in the game at 500 weight. And our plan for it is it's not gonna be a reload weapon. It's not gonna be a manual reload weapon. So that can either be broken or not, or too weak. We'll see. It'll come out next month. Of course, it'll come out first in preview. Then we'll discuss about it in a Wednesday Warzone, like right now.
New maps when?
New maps when? We're making one big map for a single player campaign, which, like I said, takes place in an arid desert planet called Baja Secundus, or Baja Secunda. Sorry, Secundus is so Latin. It's gonna be a really big map. It's supposed to encompass a war-torn region. Right now, there might not be new maps for a while because we're still working on that. It's I don't want to say I want it to be a world map because it's just one region, but you'll be seeing a lot of that map in the planned single-player campaign, and the fact that we have to allocate so much resources to it, it's gonna be really big. It's gonna be way bigger than all our arenas so far. Just stay tuned for that. Like I said, there are some sections of the map I wanted to show off, but not yet at this time. Sorry. Okay, so next.
Regarding the weapon contest, will there be a different top 10 for the reskin and the new weapon ideas?
Yep, there's for the weapon contest, will there be a different top 10 for reskin and brand new weapon ideas? Yes, like I said, it's not gonna be like Fashion Fight where we had just one like list for everything. There's gonna be two categories, so but at the same time, there's no first, second, and third place. But if you submit in both categories, there's a chance you can win both. We also don't have a limit to how much weapon pitches you send in. Just make sure they're really good because we'll only pick the best. So that's for the weapon contest. And what else? How do you plan to reveal the lore of the game in the final product? Holopads, books, posters, data recordings we get from defeated Archangels. Okay, first we have something in the game called a codex, which will fill up with information as you encounter it in game. Second, missions. The nature of our single player campaign is you're a mercenary who receives missions from various factions fighting over the planet Baja Secunda. They will communicate with you through like emails, basically. Those emails can also serve as basically lore dumps of the game and your gateway to the different like factions and forces at work in the universe of Garrison Archangel. On top of that, if there are new terms that come out in the emails, my idea was that the codex gets a new entry that goes in depth about certain certain concepts. But right now, the codex is only filled with like game terminology and stats explanations. And when we release the single player, we'll at least have a basic lore dump of the different manufacturer companies, because all of you guys have have access to all their different equipment and technology and basic terms like the solar empire and stuff like that. So yeah, so there. You can go into the code. We'll basically use the codex to drop the basic idea of the world, and then the single player campaign will have correspondence between the factions. We'd like to say cinematics or cinematics, but cinematics are a little. I can't promise cinematics just yet. Transmissions and correspondences mainly, and the codex, like I said. So if a new term comes up, like the demiurge, the codex will have a blurb or an entry on the demiurge, which normally the demiurge isn't exactly something people like to talk about, because a lot of things pertaining to the demiurge are actually top secret and forbidden to talk about or even share, or like specific technology regarding the demiurge.
Yeah, so don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it.
Oh man, I went into a lore talk. Yeah, so I think I shouldn't talk about too much about the demiurge. What's the currency in this game? What is it called? They're called sols. Sols meaning sun in Latin, because they're the solar empire. Okay, what else is there?
Solar bucks.
Solar bucks.
Yes.
Oh, mouth was an inside job. Hey, wow, too early. Too soon. Anyway, other questions?
No.
Oh, none?
No.
Does this game fare well on a 4K TV? Yes, that. We haven't tried it. Please tell us how it looks. Okay, new update on 31. Please, no more puzzles. No, we'll just basically the shield, the Obolochka shield we showed earlier, and the Sprunghaft jump jets we showed earlier, they'll be put in the public build. The Sprunghaft might get the passive bonus of the Kreuzflugel X thruster on the back, which is basically a speed boost in all directions when using the boost. But the Sprunghaft, the jump jets, will have that ability only in midair. If you're grounded, you don't have the boost bonus. So I think that's it for the questions. Oh my gosh. Let me check Discord. It's on cue. Wow, I'm talking on Discord. That's amazing. Okay.
Oh yeah. Transforming robots.
Transforming robots.
No.
That's all I can say.
No.
No, it's not no, but playable transformable robots might be a no. I'm sorry.
It's easier for us if we just said no.
Robots are cooler. Giant robots are a man's romance. Yes, they are. Japan said so when we went to Tokyo Game Show last year. Famitsu says it's humanity's romance. So I think that's it. Who is the leader of the arenas? Is it one guy like McMahon? Or is it multiple owners? Is there one Garrison Archangel fighting franchise that manages all the fights, or is it different companies? The short answer is no, there are many different arena owners, but the long answer is there's actually like a body that says, okay, these are the rules you have to follow for a true Archangel arena fight. Anything that doesn't follow these rules are basically illegal fights, and all they do is ensure that if you run an Archangel arena, you follow these rules and these like limitations. Most of the rules are for safety purposes. The other rules are regarding military, forbidden military technology. So there's actually military technology out there that shouldn't be used in an arena, because arenas are public spectacle, and sometimes the public doesn't need to know about these weapons and stuff. So they're basically forbidden from the arena.
It's basically backyard wrestling, if you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. Well, but backyard wrestling doesn't have this like big. Do they have a big body that basically
No,
says?
that's what I'm saying. Those promotions for the backyard wrestling are not sanctioned by
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so if they're unsanctioned battles, those are illegal. You can get arrested. You can get that stuff can get shut down. There's basically like a government sanctioned body that says, okay, you can run Archangel arena battles. So, but just follow these rules.
no chairs.
No chairs. Okay. Do you have any plans for single player content that is meant to be extremely challenging? Um, we intend for the end game stuff to be really challenging if you're not fully upgraded. So there's gonna be upgrades too, and the upgrades can make you really broken. Like our design philosophy is we just want to make you look cool and do whatever you want, but we're not gonna balance that for PvP. So PvP and top tier single player will be two separate things. But like I said, it'll be challenging if you didn't upgrade your parts and you stuck with your base parts. There are harder versions of normal missions, yes. This is also why we're testing out procedural generation, so we can just tweak values like number of enemies, their equipment, their health points, stuff like that, how much ammo they have. There are also gonna be boss fights. Baja Secunda has its own monsters, but that's all I can that's all I can say about that. I'm trying to see more info into joysticks to make our dream come true, Lucas. Someday we will play in cockpits.
We haven't even supported PS4 controllers, man. Like,
Well, we'll see what we can do about joysticks. Button mapping should help us with that. I can't wait for my Spanish Archangels. It's gonna be spicy. Okay. In the future, we don't have Earth no longer exists. Countries as we know them no
are you
longer
saying
exist.
Spain, no, space, Spain.
What you do have are culture descendants. Like the megacorps actually are one of the best culture descendants because they were able to transmit their corporate culture and by extension their old culture from Earth to space.
Yeah, but what about Space Mexico?
Technically Montaglion
So we can get our space
encompasses
luchadores.
Mediterranean cultures like Italy and Spain, Iberian and other cultures, and their planet is currently called El Dorado, named after that mythic city of gold. So there might be Spanish archangels.
Hijo del Random.
Hijo del Random. Space Uganda. Oh man. I will see. I don't want to get too much into nationalities or whatever, since a lot of this is way far in the future. Okay, try to keep off-topic chat. Cosmetics, upgrades in solo. Will there be a skin system where you can equip a powerful weapon, but say you don't like the look, you can put another skin on it? Yes, for multiplayer, because all the parts will have the same stats.
No, I think he's asking for transmog.
Well, yes, for multiplayer, because they'll all have
Really?
the same stats. Yeah, they'll all have the same stats in a sanctioned two four fingers up. Will there be a way to tell what type of body part it is before a match start? We intend to put the icon system we use in character select to like to communicate what kind of weapon there's. As for the out skins, transmog, basically transmog kind of deal, we don't have a formal system for that. In single player, you're basically stuck with it if you're using that weapon. In multiplayer, we intend for there to be a mode where it's actually going to be the default mode where all equipment is basically at their base level, and that base level is what we balance. We don't balance the upgrades anymore. Will there be icons for frame parts as well? No.
It's too much.
That's too much. What we can do is,
You can you can probably show the stats.
the stats. Yeah, we'll probably show the base stats. The base stats like strength, speed, and
MDM,
no, I don't think we can need to show MDM to be
armor.
honest. Just strength, speed, and then armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then let the player calculate from there. Okay.
Nemesis system.
We'll have an arena rival. That's one I wish we could. I wish we could, but we'll see. There's a lot on our plate. The Nemesis system. Actually, I had what we have that's similar to that is called the faction threat system. Because every time you do a mission for a faction, another faction gets hurt. So if you keep making an enemy out of a certain faction, they'll do things to you. Like they might ambush you while you're doing another mission, or they'll just say, "Hey, you're no longer allowed to buy Montaglion products because you've been bad to the corporation." So there's stuff like that. Okay, who else is asking? Come on, guys, last 10 seconds. Oh, 9 people.
So you want to talk about Pentagon Junior?
Who's Pentagon Jr.?
You don't know who Pentagon Junior is?
What's this? Who's Pentagon Jr.? Oh no, did I just shill for something? I might have shilled
no,
for
you didn't.
something.
He's Pentagon Junior.
Who's Pentagon Jr.?
He doesn't need your shield.
So screw a faction enough and they will send their company ace at you. Not just an ace. Some of them have something called security. They have security divisions. Some of them have subsidiaries who are also mercenaries. So it might not just be aces you'll be encountering. Will there be any plans on giving AIs in arcade different playstyles depending on their build? Good question. We've actually been trying that for a while. It's a maybe at this point, but we intend to do that, especially because single player is coming up, and we'll have missions like the dreaded escort mission. So AIs will have to behave differently, and in specific circumstances, they might take very specific actions depending on the mission. Will there be a different inventory on single player and multiplayer? Infinite slots in single player. Character set limits on its capacity. In single player, yes, there will be different inventory slots because each playthrough will represent you not having access to all the equipment. Regarding the mech slots,
It's like a save file.
yeah. Regarding the mech slots, we intend for you to start out with just one mech slot. So one mech slot and basically a save file for that playthrough. But whatever you unlock in single player, if it's not available in your multiplayer garage, we'll unlock that part in the multiplayer garage. And like I said, in our planned multiplayer system, all parts by default will operate at their base values, even if they're the premium parts. So they'll really just look like reskins of existing parts. So that's that. I think limits on its capacity will probably make mech slots something you buy with in-game currency. Will there be insurgents in Baja Secunda? Huh. Well, why won't there be? Okay. Here's a suggestion. Yes, there might be missions where randomly a third faction wants you to do something and you can do that for them. It might not be as plot heavy as you described though. They might just ask you, "Oh, hey, by the way, if you're going to this area, please blow up this stuff." You'll still have to complete like the main part of the quest or the mission, but you get bonus points with that other faction if you do that extra favor for them. But there are some missions called basically story missions where things can happen, but they'll always happen. So stuff like you said, like a third faction will ask you to do this or that will always happen in those missions because they're basically they're missions that drive the plot forward. There are gonna be some missions that are like that, depending on the route you choose or the factions you side with. And I think that's it. I
Yep.
still must escort curse you. Yeah, sorry. Escorts are a thing. But they're not gonna be as common and they'll pay higher than normal missions, of course. So that's it for the Wednesday Warzone. I hope you guys were happy with just me talking and watching a revolving robot on the screen. Maybe I should have had my sound guy play. So, how long has it been?
I don't know.
Wow, how long has it been? It's been an hour.
Maybe.
Wow, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Just me talking. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for watching. And that was Garrison Archangel Wednesday Warzone. As I said again, please join the AACC 2018, which is the Archangel Arms Concept Competition 2018. Even non-players can join, and you can win a Steam key and get get your weapon added into the game with your own lore, with your own name, and you can put your name in the. We'll even put your name in the credits. If you don't have Garrison Archangel yet, or you do have Garrison Archangel yet, but you're interested in some other games, we have a Hump Day bundle sale care of Indie Gala that has Garrison Archangel. Please check it out. It's on the link. It's one of the links we posted below. And I think that's that for real.
Yep.
That's Wednesday Warzone. This was Paulor of the Garrison Archangel team. Paulor, and what do you go by nowadays here in Discord?
Just call me Richard.
Okay. With my sound guy, Richard. And thank you all for watching. Sara, bye-bye.